welcome to Cooking with Tass. In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to make an easy and delicious dessert with apples. So apples are available year-round and it's always found in our refrigerator. Well, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So there are so many different kinds of dishes we can make using apples, different kinds of desserts, sweets, smoothies, even we can make savory dishes with apples. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to make a really easy pudding with apples. So for making this pudding, we'll be using milk and condensed milk as the base. And I'll be also adding pureed apples. So to make this pudding even more delicious, I'll be adding saffron. So as a thickening agent, I'll be using Agar Agar. So Agar Agar is plant-based, it's 100% vegetarian and it's a seaweed. So it's definitely a healthy alternative to gelatin. So if you don't have Agar Agar, you can use gelatin. So let's get started and let's make this delicious apple pudding. For making this pudding, I have used Agar Agar strands. So these are the strands, it's pretty long. So I bought this from Dubai during my last visit. So that was a few years ago. So these are dried, 100% vegetarian and it's seaweed. So we can store this for a few years. So Agar Agar, it's available at most of the Indian or Asian stores, or it's also available on Amazon. So it's mostly sold in the form of strands like these. It's also available in the form of powder. So if you have Agar Agar powder, you should be using 1 tablespoon of powder for 3 cups of liquid. So add the powder to slightly cooled milk and condensed milk and then heat it up so that the powder will dissolve. And after that, you should be adding the pureed apples. So for making this, I'll be using the strands. So the strands, what I do is I cut 2 inches of the strands and take half cup of the strands, add it to half cup water, and I'll cook the water so that the strands will dissolve in water. Then I'll be adding that to the pudding mixture. So let's get started and let's make this delicious apple pudding. I have taken 3 apples, so these are Gala variety. You can also use red delicious apples. So next I'm going to peel off the skin and dice them. Add the diced apples into a blender jar, and next I'm going to add half cup water and going to puree the apples. As the thickening agent for the pudding, I'll be using Agar Agar strands. So I'm going to cut the strands into 2-inch long and going to take half cup of that. So this is half cup of 2 inches long Agar Agar strands. Add to a saucepan, and to this I'm going to add half cup water. So for half cup of strands, half cup water should be good. Next, let's dissolve the Agar Agar in water. So place the pan over medium heat. Into a different saucepan, this is placed over medium heat. I'm going to add 1.5 cups of milk. So you can add 1% or 2% or even whole milk. To the milk, add sweetened condensed milk. So I'm going to add 3/4 cups. So this is based on your sweet level. So the pureed apples are also sweet, so you don't have to add a lot of condensed milk. So combine everything well and let the milk come to a slight boil. So this will take a few minutes. To the pudding, I'll be also adding saffron. So this is optional, but if when you add saffron, it will make the pudding taste really delicious. So just 2 pinches of saffron and adding 1 tablespoon water. So keep it aside for 5 minutes. So the agar agar, it's starting to cook in water. So we need to cook till the strands dissolve in water. So this will take like 10 to 15 minutes. And over here, condensed milk is also cooking. So after 15 minutes, the strands have melted in water. So remove it from the heat and keep it aside. But if you keep it aside for long, it will thicken. So you need to add as soon as the agar agar strands have dissolved in water. So here the condensed milk have started to boil. So I'm going to add the pureed apples. After you have added pureed apples, take the saucepan out of the heat so we don't have to cook any further. I'm going to take the saucepan off the heat. Next, going to add the saffron water. So I allowed the saffron to soak in water for 5 minutes. Combine well and add the dissolved agar agar strands in water. Give it a good mix. So our apple pudding mixture is ready. To the pudding mixture, I'm also going to add almonds. So you can add any kind of nuts of your choice. So I've taken around 8 whole almonds. I'm going to crush that using a mortar and pestle. So you can also add pecans or cashew nuts. So combine it well using a spoon. So the pudding mixture has cooled down a bit. So next I'm going to pour this into individual ramekins. It's better to make the puddings in individual ramekins rather than in a large bowl. With this recipe, you will be able to make 5 bowls of apple pudding. Place the ramekins into the refrigerator and let it chill or let it set for 2 hours. After 2 hours, I'm going to open the refrigerator. So here are the well set and chilled apple pudding. It has set really well. Here are the apple puddings. So as you can see, it has set really well and it has a nice texture and consistency. It's very rich and creamy and it tastes absolutely delicious. Here are the delicious apple pudding, and it's so easy to make with very minimal ingredients or very basic ingredients like milk, condensed milk, apples. So I've added saffron that will give a really nice taste and flavor. So if you don't have saffron, you can skip that. So do give this pudding a try and let me know your feedback. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll be back with more cooking videos. Until then, happy cooking, take care, and bye.